This video is a part of the Glue On docs on how to set up your own browser. We're going to be going through how to customize the browser's UI. But first, make sure that you've already followed through the steps that are described in the docs for setting up your own Firefox fork. So you've installed Glue On, you set up your project, you've downloaded, you've bootstrapped, you've imported, you've built, and you've run at least once. So let's take a look at what that run should look like. So if we run it and we wait while it opens, you'll see this is basically just vanilla Firefox with a slightly different logo to avoid trademark infringement. The way Firefox is structured, basically the entire browser is just one big web page, like an Electron app, only better optimized and with the ability to use native components and look native. So even things that seem to be sort of native, like this bookmark menu, which looks native and also looks native on macOS, is actually just a web page. But because everything's a web page, we can open developer tools to inspect it and modify it. So you can either go application menu, more tools, browser toolbox to open it, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Control, Alt, Shift, I, which is significantly faster. Allow a remote debugging session. Now let's just split these side by side so we can see both of them at the same time. And you'll see what looks like a web page, but we have slightly different elements. So we have box elements and H-boxes and V-boxes, along with like toolboxes, all kinds of weird custom elements. Think of these like React components. They're React components, but they've been defined in such a way that you can see them in the developer tools. So what we're going to go through here is we're going to try and create some nice square tabs here. Let me try and find an example. So this is SimpleFox. We're going to try and replicate a style similar to this, just with the tabs. But when you're building your own browser, I would strongly recommend developing your own visual identity that's unique, so others won't accuse you of copying and you'll stand out more. So let's first try and remove this title bar colored border around the tab. So let's first inspect the tab, and we can see that a tab is made up of a root tab element, a stack, so those are things one on top of the other. So the tab background is behind it, the tab content is in front of it. So let's take a look at each of these. We can see that the tab background, if we hover over it, has, let's select that, it has these yellow bits above it, so these margins. So I'm going to presume that those are what makes the tab seem like it's floating. So if we go in here and we look for margins, we have margin block here, which is 4 pixels. If we disable that, we can see everything squishes. So now it's just the tab, but the tab's also got a bit of a weird color. So what I want to do is I want to try and find the background color of this title toolbar here, and we'll use that. So generally, like toolbar items are transparent, or most divs are transparent, and then the root element of this component will have the color set. So here we have a background color and a background image. Let's just go copy both of those and jump back to our tab. So the tab background color is set here. This looks to me like it's a bunch of logic to make sure the background color is only set when the tab is not selected. So let's just disable these two here and paste what we copied in here. And now the background colors are the same. The only thing I want to tweak right now is those little border radiuses there. So let's just remove the border radius, and there we have our nice square tabs. So the problem with this right now is that if we close the browser, we'll lose all our progress. Like how if you close a web page after changing it within its backed element, it'll just revert back to what it was before. So what we need to do is we need to go copy all the changes that we made into Gluon. So into this shared.inc.css file. So on tab background, we remove the border radius and the margin block. So what we want to do is we want to set border radius to be 0 and margin block to be 0 as well. Now we just want to copy that rule, let's paste it down here, remove all the rest of this weird stuff, and boom, we have the styles that will do this. So now if we close the browser, we need to rebuild it for the changes to take effect. So let's run gluon build. But gluon build will rebuild all of Firefox. But because we've only made changes to the UI, we can rebuild just the GUI to make it faster. So build --UI. We'll build only the UI parts. This will take around 30 seconds, so I'll see you when it's done. Okay, the build is done. So let's gluon run. I'm getting confused with the Pulse browser workflow. And we can see, boom, our changes have been applied and they're saved across restarts. But there's this weird gap between tabs. I'm not sure if you can see it. Maybe I'll blow it up in editing. Future me, enjoy that pain. So let's try and find what's causing that. So that happens sometimes. Sometimes the developer tools won't open if you Control-C the browser. So you just need to restart the developer tools again and they'll open. So let's take a look at this tab. It's probably going to be a layout thing. And we can see here we have this padding here on tab that's not on tab background. So if we take a look at this padding, that padding's probably what's causing it. So let's go to rules. Let's find the padding and let's disable it. Oh, we don't want to disable it. Disabling it does weird stuff. So let's set padding to be 0 then. That looks slightly better. That looks much better. So basically this is the process of making changes to the browser. You find it in the toolbox, you change it, you copy your changes, you go over to your gluon thing, you paste it, you get rid of all the weird extra stuff that Mozilla will include for you because they're nice. You close the browser, you rebuild it, and repeat until you have your own distinct UI that you like and that your users will like. So in general, that's the process for building your own UI, and I challenge you to build your own. See what you like, experiment, see what you come up with. Otherwise, enjoy.